Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, including the bond between grandparents and grandchildren. But sometimes, subtle signs of disrespect can creep in without us noticing. In this video, I'll share 5 key signs that your grandchildren may not respect you. Pay close attention to number 4. It's something most people overlook. Sign 1. They frequently interrupt you. One of the clearest signs of disrespect is frequent interruption. When your grandchildren don't allow you to finish speaking, it may seem harmless or playful at first, but over time, it becomes a habit that can erode the respect they have for you and your patience. Interrupting someone is more than just a conversational misstep. It's a sign that they may not value what you have to say or see your words as worth waiting for. Interruptions can manifest in many forms, from jumping in with their own opinions mid-sentence to talking over you when you're in the middle of sharing something important. It can be especially frustrating when you're trying to tell a story, give advice, or share a moment from your life, only to be cut off by a sudden outburst or unrelated comment. This behavior might seem innocent, particularly when they're younger, but it can reveal a deeper lack of awareness or respect for your role as their grandparent. There are several reasons why children or grandchildren may interrupt, and not all of them come from a place of malice. Sometimes it's simply a lack of self-awareness or impatience, particularly in younger children who haven't yet learned the importance of listening. In today's fast-paced, digitally driven world, attention spans are shorter, and multitasking is common. As a result, they may not even realize they're interrupting because they've been conditioned to focus on their own thoughts rather than engage fully in a conversation. However, if the interruptions are consistent and seem dismissive, it's important to address the issue. Letting this behavior slide sends the message that it's acceptable, which can further strain your relationship over time. Respectful communication is a cornerstone of any relationship. And as a grandparent, your role in guiding and teaching them this value is crucial. To address this behavior, start by calmly calling it out when it happens. For example, you might say, "I'd like to finish what I'm saying before you respond," or "Please let me complete my thought first." This sets a boundary and reminds them that your words are worth hearing. Make it a point to model good, listening behavior yourself, showing them how to wait patiently and engage thoughtfully in conversations. If the interruptions persist, consider having a private conversation with them about how it makes you feel. Explain that when they interrupt, it seems as though they don't value your opinions or stories. Be honest but kind, framing the discussion as a way to strengthen your bond and improve communication. Remember, addressing interruptions isn't about chastising your grandchildren. It's about fostering mutual respect. With gentle guidance and consistent reinforcement, you can help them understand the value of listening and the importance of showing respect through their words and actions. Over time, this not only improves your relationship, but also teaches them a critical life skill they'll carry into all their interactions. Sign 2. They ignore your rules or requests. One of the most noticeable signs that your grandchildren may not respect you is when they ignore the rules or requests you've set in your home. Respecting authority and boundaries is an important lesson, and when children disregard the rules, it can indicate that they don't value your position as a grandparent or the space you've provided for them. Ignoring requests can take many forms, whether it's not following house rules such as cleaning after themselves, respecting quiet hours, or even more simple things like not putting away their belongings. When this happens frequently, it can create frustration and tension, not just for you, but for other family members too. This behavior might not always come from a place of defiance. Children and grandchildren can sometimes test boundaries as they grow older, trying to figure out where the lines are and what they can get away with. However, when these actions become a pattern, it signals that they may not fully understand or care about your expectations and the respect you deserve. Ignoring rules could also be a sign that they feel their needs or desires are more important than yours. For example, if you've asked them not to eat in certain areas of the house but they continue to do so, It shows they may not value your space or your efforts to maintain order and cleanliness. Or if you've requested that they help with chores but they refuse or fail to do so, it can suggest that they don't see it as important, or worse, that your authority isn't something they feel they need to acknowledge. Addressing this behavior starts with clear communication. Be specific about your expectations and the reasons behind them. For instance, if you ask them not to leave their shoes in the hallway, explain how it could be a safety hazard or cause inconvenience to others. When they break the rules, calmly but firmly remind them of your expectations and reinforce why those rules are in place. Setting clear consequences for ignoring requests is equally important, as it helps them understand the importance of following through. Another key is leading by example. If you want them to respect rules in your home, show them the same respect. Maintain consistency, follow your own rules, and be patient as they learn. Remember, teaching respect takes time, and it's essential to keep open lines of communication. If necessary, have a conversation with them to discuss any reasons behind their resistance or misunderstanding, and make sure they feel heard. Ultimately, respecting your rules is about creating a balanced environment where both you and your grandchildren can enjoy time together in peace, understanding, and mutual respect. Sign 3. They dismiss your opinions or advice. Another significant sign that your grandchildren may not respect you is when they dismiss your opinions or advice without consideration. This behavior is often subtle but can be hurtful, especially when you're sharing life lessons or offering guidance based on your experiences. When your advice is ignored, belittled, or brushed aside, it can make you feel undervalued. It's natural for grandparents to want to share wisdom accumulated over the years, whether it's about relationships, finances, or life in general. You've lived through countless experiences and gained valuable insights that you want to pass on to the younger generation. However, if your grandchildren don't show interest or, worse, mock your advice, it's a clear sign that they may not respect you. Sometimes the dismissal of your opinions can come from a place of youthful confidence or pride. They may feel like they know better, especially if they are in their teenage years or early adulthood, and they might not yet appreciate the wealth of knowledge you possess. This is particularly common in today's world, where younger generations often have access to vast amounts of information online and may feel that traditional wisdom is outdated or irrelevant. However, when this behavior becomes consistent, it's important to address it. Dismissing someone's advice is not only disrespectful, it can also damage the connection you have with that person. They may feel like they don't need you, and you might start to feel excluded from their life. It's painful to offer advice, or share your experiences only to have them brushed aside as unimportant. The key to addressing this issue is patience and open communication. First, try to understand where they're coming from. Are they dismissing your advice because they feel it's outdated, or is it more about a lack of interest in hearing from you? Once you understand their perspective, you can approach the conversation from a place of empathy. When discussing this issue with your grandchildren, make sure to express your feelings gently. For example, you could say, "I understand that you may have different thoughts, but when you dismiss my advice, it makes me feel like you don't value my perspective." Let them know that your advice comes from a place of love and concern, and that you're sharing it because you care about their future. At the same time, show respect for their opinions as well. Acknowledge that they may have different ways of thinking, and encourage open dialogue. It's essential to create an environment where both sides feel heard and understood. By modeling respectful communication, you'll not only teach them the value of listening to others, but also strengthen the bond you share with them. Over time, this approach can help shift their perspective. They may begin to understand that your advice isn't just random opinions, it's wisdom rooted in experience and genuine concern for their well-being. Sign 4. They don't acknowledge your efforts, one of the most overlooked signs of disrespect in relationships, especially with grandchildren, is when they fail to acknowledge your efforts. Whether you've gone out of your way to prepare a special meal, organize an activity, or simply take time out of your busy life to spend with them, A lack of gratitude can feel hurtful and unappreciated. This may not always seem like a major issue, but when your efforts go unnoticed, it sends a message that you aren't valued or recognized for the love and care you put into maintaining the relationship. Acknowledging efforts, big or small, is a fundamental part of respect. When your grandchildren fail to thank you for something as simple as a homemade dinner or a thoughtful gesture, it can sting. It's not about needing praise for every little thing, but a simple acknowledgement goes a long way in building mutual respect. Without it, there's a sense of imbalance in the relationship, where one person is giving their time, energy, and resources, but the other is receiving without any sense of gratitude or recognition. It's important to understand that children, especially younger ones, may not always be aware of the significance of gratitude. They might simply take your presence and efforts for granted, especially if they're accustomed to receiving from others without having to show appreciation. However, if they are older, or if this behavior continues as they grow, it could be a sign that they're not being taught the importance of recognizing and acknowledging the efforts of others, particularly the people who love and care for them. A lack of acknowledgement can also extend beyond material efforts. For example, if you've taken the time to share a meaningful conversation, offer guidance, or simply spend quality time with them, but they don't show any appreciation for your time or advice, it can feel as though your relationship with them is one-sided. You might feel as though you're only there when they need something, but are rarely acknowledged for being there during the quieter moments. To address this, it's helpful to gently point out when you feel your efforts have gone unnoticed. You don't need to come across as accusatory, but a simple, "I really enjoyed spending time with you today," or "It meant a lot to me that you came over," can open up a conversation about the importance of gratitude. You can also model appreciation by thanking them for the things they do, no matter how small. Acknowledging their positive actions can teach them the value of expressing gratitude. If you feel that the lack of acknowledgement is deeper, such as an ongoing pattern of taking you for granted, it may be worth having a direct conversation. You might say, "I do a lot to make sure you feel welcome and loved, and sometimes it feels like you don't notice that. It would really mean a lot if you could show a little appreciation for what I do for you." This approach allows you to express your feelings without creating a confrontational atmosphere, and it encourages them to reflect on their actions. It's also important to recognize that gratitude is a learned behavior. If your grandchildren are not acknowledging your efforts, it might be because they haven't been taught the importance of doing so. Take this opportunity to help them learn and grow by gently guiding them toward a more appreciative mindset. It's not about seeking praise or recognition for yourself. It's about teaching them the value of showing respect and gratitude to the people who matter most in their lives. Over time, when your efforts are acknowledged, even in small ways, it will reinforce the bond you share and foster mutual respect. Your grandchildren will come to understand that respect and gratitude are vital parts of any relationship, and that the love you offer them deserves to be recognized and valued. Sign 5. They don't make time for you. Another major sign that your grandchildren may not respect you is when they consistently fail to make time for you. Whether it's through canceling plans last minute, not responding to your messages or calls, or simply showing little interest in spending time together, this lack of effort can be hurtful and is often a subtle indicator of how they perceive your relationship. Spending quality time together is one of the most important aspects of any grandparent-grandchild bond. If your grandchildren make excuses, don't prioritize you, or seem disinterested when you try to connect, it may feel as though they're taking you for granted. It can be particularly frustrating when you've made a concerted effort to reach out and create meaningful moments, only to be met with indifference. It's also important to note that this behavior may not always stem from a place of deliberate disrespect. Sometimes grandchildren, especially those who are teenagers or young adults, can become distracted by their own lives, friendships, or personal interests. They may unintentionally overlook or downplay the importance of spending time with you. However, When this becomes a pattern and they continuously fail to engage, it's a clear sign that they may not be valuing the connection the way they should. The emotional toll of feeling neglected or forgotten can be significant. You might feel like you're no longer a priority in their lives, which can leave you feeling disconnected, lonely, and unappreciated. You've likely invested time, love, and energy into their upbringing, and when they don't reciprocate by making time for you, it can be difficult not to take it personally. Addressing this issue requires patience and open communication. If you notice that they're consistently unavailable or uninterested in making plans with you, gently express how it makes you feel. Let them know that you understand they have busy lives, but that you value your time together and miss connecting with them. Perhaps you could suggest specific activities that would be enjoyable for both of you, showing that you're still invested in building the relationship. Sometimes they might not realize how important their presence is to you, so expressing that can be a wake-up call. If they continue to avoid making time for you, it might be worth considering whether they need a reminder of the value of family connections or whether they're simply going through a phase. In any case, continue making the effort, and if they start to show signs of re-engagement, it's a sign that they're beginning to recognize the importance of your bond. So, if you've noticed one or more of these signs, whether it's constant interruptions, ignoring your rules, dismissing your opinions, not acknowledging your efforts, or failing to make time for you, it's important to address these behaviors in a calm and constructive way. These signs of disrespect can sometimes be subtle, but by gently guiding your grandchildren back to a place of mutual respect, you can strengthen your relationship and help them grow into more empathetic and considerate individuals. Remember, respect isn't just something we expect from others. It's something we also need to model ourselves. Leading by example, setting clear boundaries, and fostering open communication are all keys to building a respectful and loving relationship with your grandchildren. If you're dealing with any of these signs and are looking for ways to strengthen your bond, don't hesitate to start a conversation with them. Respect and love go hand in hand, and with patience and understanding, you can guide your grandchildren to a deeper appreciation for you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more tips on building stronger family relationships. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below and let me know if you've experienced any of these signs with your own grandchildren. Let's keep the conversation going and work together to create more meaningful connections.